Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. And I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
Indeed. And today, I think we're going to talk about a couple different things, see what we can fit in, and how this goes running Discord through as well.
Yeah, like we did last week.
Yeah.
Last week? Well, yeah, it got released today,
yeah.
So people will have seen an example of how it works.
Exactly. So hopefully, if you've watched that episode, you can come join our Discord, and then you can come pop in on our podcasts. Or
listen to it, just laugh.
Indeed.
Whatever you want.
Make threats. It's all good.
Please don't. Unless you have to. If it's necessary.
Just preface it with this is absolutely necessary. I love you, but you must die.
I hate you, but you must die. They don't have to like us. They can do whatever they want.
It's true. You are you.
It is season 2. They can do whatever they want. Unfortunately.
We set the precedent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. All right. Should we go into our weekly recap?
Check in, check out, Rick Rack.
I was waiting. I was like, is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? Yeah. The Rick Rack.
Yeah, it's time for the weekly check-in.
It's time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Every time.
I'm going to change it. It's going to change.
You have to go first. To just do it then.
You have to go first. I went first last week.
Okay. Oh, man. What happened this week?
It's a great way to jump in. Oh, boy.
It was just a busy one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was anything super specific. I did see the PT again, and she did her internal assessment. She was like, I cannot help you. And I was like, okay, that's kind of what I thought. Whatever. And so she was like, you could go see this chronic pelvic pain specialist.
That's a thing?
Yes.
Wow.
But I don't know that it would make any kind of difference. And at this point, I'm not sure that I care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, that was a thing. And then workout, which, I did something super messed up. I dislocated my ankle.
Oh, yeah.
And left that, nasty bruise. But this knee is also going out,
great.
All the time. I'm like, why? Why do? Please stop. And then I had conference all week. Conference and running some interviews.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just it's just a really go kind of week.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of time to stop. So I'm still waiting for the crash because it's bound to show up. And the weather's been kind of
meh,
malicious.
It's out to get just us specifically.
It's we're going to mess with the pressure, but it's never actually going to rain.
I'm going to put that
look
clip
crazy.
in.
Yes, the one you sent me.
Yeah, of us reviewing our barometer.
Yeah. So what day was that? I texted you
Wednesday?
And was like, I need you to check your barometer.
Yeah, we came over and we made TikToks or something.
And it was almost level at that point.
It was perfectly even. So we were in balance. And then 2 hours later you messaged me and you're like, hey, check it. And so I was like, all right. And I recorded going down to look at it and it was super high.
It was.
Or it was super low. If it goes up.
Yeah, I think it's low pressure. Which meant that all the storm was supposed to come in and they were like, it's going to be the start of the monsoon. And then it never fucking rained.
Here, put your hand right here. Insert clip here. I don't know. Let's find out together. And holy fuck. Was it great?
It was I don't know how many seconds it was.
It was 7.
7? Okay. Hopefully we waited.
I can slow us down. Just slow motion.
Yes, and we had some fun twin moments this week too.
Did we?
The weed one was really funny.
Oh yeah.
She was like, I love my bath bomb. She's like, Star gave it to me.
And we both what that means. And instead of doing the thing from the TikTok where it's like fish orgy, which is a whole other thing we'll have to explain another day, we went weed.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was, and then we astonished ourselves and then laughed about that.
We laughed for a good 10 minutes about it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yep. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this. It might have been last week. I'm not sure. I lost my neuro.
Oh yeah, that was last week, but we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So he's leaving, And the next possible appointment with a male neurologist is in September.
Because it has to be a dude for her.
Yeah.
That's the only way she gets treated correctly is if it's a dude.
Yep. I don't know why that is. And like I know like
bias.
Men on the other side have an easier time with women doctors a lot of the time.
I have like a specific type. They have to be flippant. They have to be like
exactly.
then they
like,
respect your journey.
Yeah. Like and I get along with a ton of nurses.
Yeah.
And a ton of like PAs. But female like specialists, we're not friends. They don't like me.
As far as specialists go, that's true for me too. Because the only female specialist I've seen was the rheumatologist who saw me 3 times and refused to help me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Even though she knew what EDS is and Marfan's, but she was like, I'm just going to look for RA.
Yeah, because that was, and I remember that. This will go into the process a little more too. Rheumatology was like, if it's not autoimmune, I don't care.
Exactly.
And I was like, great, thank you.
It wasn't until we saw, what was her name?
Emily.
I was like, Elizabeth? No, that's wrong.
Emily.
It wasn't until we saw Emily, which was the
She was a PA, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a PA.
And she was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the one who got us set up with like the right people. Supposedly the right people.
Well, she did. We wouldn't be where we are without her.
Yeah, that's true. That was an interesting appointment. That was like not very long after.
For story time, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to go over the journey anyways, that's a good one.
Yes.
Should I do my week?
Yeah, I think that was about it for my week.
I was supposed to do fun things this week, and I fucked my body up and didn't get to have fun.
But you did do some fun.
I did.
Like at the very beginning of the week.
Yeah, like
Sunday.
We did birthday stuff on Saturday, which was fun. There was drama, which is weird because there's never drama, but there was drama. So it was like, happy birthday, but asterisk, it was a really good birthday, so let's level it out. Let's bring it down a couple notches.
Yeah. And I contributed and I felt very bad.
Wasn't your fault.
It was special is what it was.
Yeah. And then on Sunday we went up to Blackhawk, which was fun.
Yeah.
It's our gambling establishment area for Colorado. Well, one of them.
Yeah.
And it was great. I walked around and did things and was powered by sheer determination and alcohol. Yep. That was my go-to. I was like,
until you start like falling asleep at the
we went at noon and we came home at 2 a.m. Oh my
god.
I was done at like 10, but then I got like a second wind. And then I was like, no, let's keep going.
Yeah. No, that happens with me and my husband too, because he'll go and he'll want to stay till like 2.
Yeah.
And I just start fading. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm ordering Bailey's Irish Cream.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I lost all the money. Like, you go expect losing, but then I won it all back at the very end.
That's the best. Like, and you went to my casino, which is where I always
That's where I got all my muns.
Yeah.
That was
the casino is the place to be.
It's chill.
It really is.
Everywhere else is chaos. You go there and everyone's just like, yeah, what's up?
It's so nice.
And the food was good.
They have regulars and yeah, it's great.
So we need to get sponsored.
Right? Z Casino. Hi.
But after that, I was fucked. I had to stop doing things for like 4 days. Like we tried editing. I tried doing an editing live stream. I was going to go with Kaylee to do things all week. I had invitations to go do things. Yep. Could not. I had to keep going, lay down, which is weird because I haven't had to do that in so long.
Well, it's because we killed it with like our extra strength spoons, and then we lost them all very quickly.
Oh my god!
We were gambling with spoons.
Pretty much.
That's what happened.
We got greedy.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
like,
I tried.
I feel great. Do all the things and then regret it.
Tried all week to do things. Could not.
Yeah.
And it sucked because I had the energy to go do things, and I just didn't have the body to go do things.
Yeah.
Which is the worst. Laying in bed, like I could.
Right? You're like, what could I do? What could I do?
You could sit here and shut up. Okay. Yes, body.
Yes, body.
You're in charge now. It's an abusive relationship.
It really is. It abuses us.
And I think that was pretty much it.
Like, well, and then you had appointments.
Oh yeah. Yesterday, I went in and got to see my doctors in person.
Yay.
And my nurses. It was so nice actually seeing them because they like us.
That's cool.
Like we've been there for long enough and we know everyone by name. So like, we came in and we saw Nicole and it was like, oh, I haven't seen you in forever.
That's so great. I love it.
It was like, it's been 1.5 years since we've seen them.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got to see my primary pain physician, which was really good. She scared me. She came in, she sat down on the bed instead of like in her chair and did the like
close
I'm gonna
eye
give
to
you,
eye to you. Yeah.
here comes bad news. And I was like, oh God, what? And she was like, did you see your surgeon last month? And I was like, no, we had a COVID scare, couldn't do it. And she's like, oh, okay. Have you rescheduled? It's like, yeah. Cool. Can you sign this release for your medical? I was like, yeah. It's like, why make it so dramatic? You scared the crap out of me. Like you're leaving or like the whole place is closing down.
Right.
That's happened so many times. So yeah, that was fun. And I had to do this. This will come into play later, but we're trying to get an MRI done of my hip.
Yeah.
We want to get it done before the 5th so that I can go in and be like, here's my MRI. You know, we don't have to wait 3 months.
Right.
So she, being awesome, was like, we can do the X-ray part here.
Oh, good.
Because you have to do the X-ray first.
Yeah, speed through the...
And then you can request your MRI. So we did that yesterday.
Good.
Which was good. And
awesome.
then I'll get a call hopefully next week to do the MRI.
Yay. That's awesome.
That was
Hopefully
my week.
it moves quickly.
Mm-hmm. Usually it can.
Yeah. I have a couple appointments, but not for a while.
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, yeah, they're out.
Yeah. So neuro is September. Getting back in with primary is going to be August something.
Wow.
I don't even know. I just like keep an appointment because you never know.
Yeah.
And it's good to like check in with meds and everything. And they had me do a urine screening this last time, which was funny because in all of the notes it's like discount all of these things that she's already taking.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you're discounting all of that, what are you screening for?
They want to make sure you're not doing the illicit stuff.
Right. I'm like, what are you screening for?
Well, and they probably wanted to check your like levels anyways, like thyroid and everything, right?
Right.
Like
yeah.
I still have to go in and get my testosterone rechecked because it's chronically low. Yeah. And I haven't been taking anything for it for years. Like I used to take an estrogen blocker, but
and then you just have not.
No, I ran out and we moved doctors and then I lost my thyroid specialist. So
that's the worst. Like once you make a connection with somebody who knows what's going on and then they're gone.
Right. And I was like, hey,
great.
This is what I was on. Can we try it? Like, can I just get it again? She's like, no, I don't feel comfortable because what if it changed?
Yeah.
What if it, it's like, okay, fair enough. I just have to find a new one.
Yeah.
But I need to do that.
Get the levels done. That shouldn't be too hard though. Will they do labs there?
They haven't since COVID.
Oh, okay.
They used to. Like I would just go in and do a blood draw. But
yeah. Huh.
I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Ow. Sorry, my collarbone.
She's dying.
My collarbone slid. Like, you know how it just like moves this way. You're like, why?
Sentences that normal people don't have.
Right.
My collarbone just slid. You know how like when it does that, when it just slides?
I was working with my personal trainer this week and I like had to stop because I was like, my toe is dislocated. And so I went and I popped it back in and she just looks at me and she goes, you're just like, you are so aware of everything inside of your body and it's absolutely insane. And I was just like, this is how I have to function. She's like, and anything you do, you know exactly how to fix it. I'm like, yeah, it's like part of it's instinct and the other part is like I've learned tricks over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to be aware of what's going on. Even when we're tuning it out. It's very strange.
Yeah. My favorite is when you miss something and then you find out like a week later when it resets and you're like, oh, that's what that was.
I had that happen with a rib. Like, the one that like right underneath your shoulder blade.
Yeah.
Where when it pops out, it like impedes the movement.
Mm-hmm.
I got that thing put back and I was like, I don't think I've had a good deep breath in over a week.
Well, you remember that time Jen set everything, right?
Yeah.
My back was real, like, I think it was mostly the popping was mostly ribs setting.
Yeah.
Because my back didn't really pop. It was everything on the sides.
Yep.
And it was like just crunch. And then I could go, air.
Right? Well, and it's so weird that we like will go without.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, I forgot what it's like to breathe. I forgot what it's like to have blood flow here.
Yeah. I've been having chest pains all week.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah. And I haven't had those in a long time. And they're the worrying kind where like you feel it in your arm too.
Oh, yeah. So you get
like,
it in your jaw.
Yeah.
Like when you're, I don't know, it's like electricity in your teeth.
Yeah. It like fakes you out. You're like, okay. This, if I'm going to describe this, it's going to sound like a heart attack.
Yep.
But it's not. I know it's not.
I used to
It's
tell
diaphragm.
the
'Cause, like,
doctors and nurses, I was like, it's like having a heart attack and a stroke all at once.
yeah.
Because I would get where like my part of my face would go numb, and like I would slur my words, just weird shit that all happened all at the same time as like the fake out heart attack.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It has to be a diaphragm thing because it impedes my breathing a lot. Like that's when I really feel it. So if I take a deep breath, like, ooh.
Yeah. Or it's just tight.
Yeah.
Tight.
So that's that. That was the week.
Fun times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And I've been so busy that I haven't like had a minute to check in with myself.
Yeah.
But oh, did you get my message from last night? My epiphany.
Oh yeah. I did.
I was like, oh my God, I know what's going on. Because I was thinking about when my therapist was like, would it be so bad to let someone take care of you? And I was like, yes, that would be very bad. We're not letting that happen. And then I kind of realized that if I let someone take care of me, you know how you feel that pressure to be better for them, where you're like, oh yeah, you totally fixed it. I'm better now.
You did it.
Yay.
You solved pain.
Right. So I'm like, by maintaining my distance, I'm really preserving my space to feel how I want to feel.
Yeah,
how
no,
I need to feel.
It's like you don't want to be crowded. Like
Yeah.
that's the perfect way to describe it. Is you
Yeah.
need your space.
I'm just maintaining my space. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, I do. I will like, and I hurt myself letting people do things that they're like, oh, have you tried? Or, oh, maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. Or,
Oh yeah,
have you
your
done
punch
this?
card. That was this week too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was.
You saw a doctor who decided, or it wasn't PT. It was
It
massage,
was-
right?
Oh, I can't remember who I talked to.
It was a girl. That's all I remember. And
Oh, it was chiropractor.
Cairo, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. She was annoying. super, super annoying. I was like, I have a connective tissue disorder. I just need like a once over on everything. And she was like, oh, like, is it EDS? And I was like, yeah, you know about EDS? And she's like, well,
She builds the hope.
yeah, you guys tend to seek out care. So we do hear about it. And I was like, okay.
What, doesn't everybody tend to seek out care when they need it?
Right. It's confusing.
Oh, Morgan's in. Hi.
Hi, Morgan. Oh yeah. So she goes to adjust me, and she's like, "I just tend to treat you guys like you're pregnant." And then she starts going into the like, "Have you tried flaxseed oil?" And like, you know about these things that you should already be taking because those are like the building blocks for the tissue that you have trouble with.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's not how any of this works, at all."
Well, and we've tried it.
Yeah. And I'm
It
like,
goes into the process too.
oh,
Like
it's so irritating.
everything she suggested was my 8 years of trying to fix it myself.
Yeah.
Which
With fish oil and flaxseed oil and collagen and la 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 la.
hey, if a doctor's going to prescribe collagen implants, then I'm going to get my lips bigger. I'm going to get my lips filled. That's just how it is.
Yes. Great. That's exactly how that works, right?
Absolutely.
We'll just put more collagen in there and the body will magically know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I just don't know why. Like, it's not that we're not making collagen. We are.
We just make
just-
just bad collagen.
It's just crappy, low quality.
The delinquents.
discount
They're sitting in the back. They're
collagen.
not learning. They're not participating. They're just like, yeah, I get it. I'm collagen. Just move on.
Hold things together. Psh. Whatever.
It's just lazy.
That's what it is. The collagen's like, no, fuck off. I don't feel like it.
I don't want to hold on today.
Yeah. And then she was like, you're done. And I was like, but I'm not done. You didn't do nearly half of what I needed you to do. But I was irritated at that point because I was like, oh, okay. You think you know stuff.
Yeah, but you got your punch card. You're so much
Yeah.
closer to like a free whatever.
I know. I need to just buy myself an ice cream
A little one.
for every
It
time.
can't. It has because it's a punch card, right? So it has to be like a little tiny one, not an actual.
Like a Wendy's kid size
Yeah.
Frosty.
Yep.
That's exactly it. So for my punch card, that'll be what we'll do.
Sweet.
We need to like make punch cards because I think that would be hilarious. You just
That
walk
or
around and be
bingo.
like, yeah, someone told me to try collagen supplements. Oh man. Yeah.
Exactly.
Jesus. It was just so dumb. And I left and I was like, that was stupid. Why did I go there?
'Tis a silly place.
Tis a silly place. It's a silly place when they think they know what they're talking about and they really just don't at all.
Well, when that happens, I want to like correct them, but then I don't want to seem rude.
Right. And they sound so like, what is it? That Reddit forum, the confidently wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what people do is they're
Yeah.
like, I'm super confident in my very off opinion. And I'm
I
like,
worked with a guy like that. I
don't-
build computers. I have my forward side buses super good. It's like, it's front side bus, sir. Oh.
Forward side.
My dad and I overclocked to 5 gigahertz. I was like, this is 2006. No, you didn't. I'm sorry, but that did not happen. He just wanted to be cool.
Oh, man.
Like, geek cool.
Be cool. Confidently wrong.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is. And then I just get tired of it. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with you. Goodbye. Oh, but my PT, while I was there, she was like, explain to me about your podcast. And so I was talking about the medical gaslighting episode. And she was like, so I hear this term a lot. What does it mean? And so I'm explaining, and she keeps coming back to this, like, belittling your experience. And I was like, yes, but there's more to it.
Right.
Like, belittling our experience is one thing, but then putting ideas in our head
Right.
that
Trying
disrupt our own sense
journey.
of self
Yeah.
for years to come. That is what I consider to be gaslighting, right? Where they're like, you're fine and you're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fun one.
Oh, it's terrible. But yeah, no, that was interesting. She was just like, she's trying to understand, but not quite all of it.
So you want to go over what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Talk about?
So today we were juggling two ideas, but I think we're well set up to go into kind of the process.
The process.
And navigating the medical system and playing all the games.
God.
Because unfortunately, we have to play games.
Well, yeah. It's like you have to learn the game first.
It's like speaking a foreign language almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very strange because you have to like maneuver very carefully and say things very carefully and frame things the right way.
Right.
In order to be heard.
Well, it's the problem I've always had is you either sound like you've been to WebMD too many times,
right.
which I don't want that perception.
No.
Because I'm here to get help. I'm here for ideas.
Right.
Or I'm too, I guess, or I'm not stern enough. I'm not saying things
like
with authority.
assertive enough.
Right. So so they're like, well, no, it's probably not that. It's this other thing. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
At least in the beginning, that's what it was like.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Fight that though.
Yeah.
Like you always fight it when you go in and you're ready to be assertive and then they shoot you down and you just lose all control of the situation.
It's happened. Remember that pain management chick that filled in for a week?
Yeah.
Who refused to fill because, what was it?
And that was right after back surgery, wasn't it?
Yes. Or it was right after
the first hip
surgery. Yeah. I went in and my pain management guy had moved on. So they had a temp. They hired a temp who didn't believe in pain management.
Yeah.
In pain management. So
and she tortured everybody for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Everybody complained. And they were sending out like apologies but she
was like flat out cruel about stuff.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She refused to fill my meds because I didn't take one that morning. Like I don't take my meds in the morning when I go in.
Yeah, because you take it the night before.
And I get car sick.
Yeah.
If I take my meds and I drive around, I get car sick, so I know better. So I didn't take one that morning. So what they do is they send it out for like they'll do a UA and they'll send it out for analysis and then they go, oh okay, it's in the system. It just like now they even have us put down time and date so they can date it. But she refused. She's like, oh no, you're doing fine without it. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm here for a reason.
Excuse me, how do you get to decide that?
But I didn't stand up for myself. I was just like, okay, this person, I didn't know she was temp.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was the new pain. And I was like, okay, we have to start the game over again. I have to go to 0 meds. And then we're going to have to like work our way up again from nothing.
Right. Exactly. Because every time you have a new doctor, you have to like, it's like starting over again.
Yeah, that's where I thought we were.
So annoying.
And then I saw Vanessa, my current one, and she was like, so wait, what was wrong? And I was like, I didn't take a med that morning. And she was like, yeah, that tracks, but why didn't she fill for you? I was like, because I didn't take a med that morning?
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
What was her name? Fatima?
Yeah, Fatima.
Oh, she was terrible.
She didn't believe in it. She honestly, she even said to us, like, I don't believe in prescribing things. Like, but you're in a pain management clinic.
Yeah, she literally like shamed everybody, and it was bad. It was so bad.
That was a rough month.
I remember because it was right after hip surgery.
Yeah, I have bad luck when it comes to like post care. This last time went well, but like normally post surgery, if I don't let everybody know in the steps, what's going on, then it all falls apart.
Exactly. Well, and you have to orchestrate it because they're not gonna.
No, I thought that they would. I was
No.
like, they know what they're doing. They've got this, and then they just start pointing the fingers at each other, like, well, he brought me in. Well, he brought me in. It's a me sick situation.
Right? You're like, who's filling? Nobody is filling this prescription.
But somebody needs to.
Because they all think the other person did.
Right. And they think I'm trying to get one over on them, and I'm not. I'm just like, I need one of you. Just one.
It's like that.
Just talk to each other.
What is that? Where people don't call 911 because they assume someone else did. So even if there's a ton of people witnessing the same thing, nobody's called 911.
They assume it's been done.
They're like, oh, someone else will do it, or someone else has done it. Yeah. It's icky. So icky.
Okay, so let's talk about what the process is in general. It's the process of getting care.
Let's take it back. So step 1, finding a doctor. Right?
Yes.
So even pre-diagnosis, post-diagnosis, that's the step, right?
Yes.
You got to find a doctor. You got to find the right doctor. And that's where that like doctor shopping bit comes in, where you're like, you need to doctor shop because otherwise you're not going to have your needs met.
Yeah.
Yeah. Step 1, find a doctor. And I remember my first step was that the woman who didn't think I needed a diagnosis.
Oh, yeah.
To get care. She was like, oh, it's fine. We'll just treat it with like PT and you don't need a diagnosis at all.
Not true.
And I was like, that's dumb.
I need a diagnosis.
And then Jen was the one who was like, you need to go find someone else.
Yeah, we went with you.
Oh, it was bad.
I sat out in the lobby. I'm glad I wasn't in there. I would have been pissed.
It was so bad. So irritating.
Jen was not having it, though.
Yeah. Well, because I brought her all of this information. I was like, this is what's going on. This is what we've learned. This is how this affects my siblings. And she was like, well, you don't need a diagnosis.
Yeah.
You'll be fine with that. And I was like, no. So step 2 was finding new doctor.
Yeah.
And that can be, it's hard.
So really, you find a doctor, you have a conversation, and hopefully they're receptive. And if they're not, you move on to a new doc.
Yeah.
Which is not easy, but necessary.
Yeah.
Like finding a doctor, in my case, was kind of hard because I kept losing doctors.
Yeah.
Like one after the other, they'd close business or they'd move to a different state or something. And I finally found an RN. An RN. Is she an RN?
Are you talking about Emily?
No, not Emily. My primary. She's a
Is she a PA or an RN?
Nurse practitioner, NP.
Oh, okay.
That was the word. And she didn't know anything about it. And at that was right when we were like, hey, this is what it is. And she had never heard of it before. So I told her, and she actually did the research.
Which is incredible.
I was her first EDS patient. And then after that, she got a ton of us. And then she was mad at me because she thought I was telling people about her. It's like, no, I think what happened is you've met the second one and they spread the word because I didn't want to share you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel about my massage therapist. I'm like, I don't want to share because his schedule's already a mess.
Yeah. But that was nice that she was willing to learn. Mm-hmm. God. And before that, it was all hunting down like Marfans. We thought it was a different thing altogether.
Because at that point, I was working with NCPN, which is like the low cost support for the community, basically.
Right.
And I had a nurse practitioner who looked at me that first time and she was like, you definitely have a connective tissue disorder. I can't tell you which one, but here's gabapentin and here's what we're going to do.
Knew,
right?
But she was like, I can't.
I'm not telling you. It's a secret. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was really... And at that point, we were chasing Marfans because that was all we knew.
In hindsight, that was ridiculous.
I know.
The way we would describe it, too, is it's like Marfans, we just present non-morphinoid.
Well, because it's weird because our baby brother presents very morphinoid.
Yeah.
He's very tall and long and lanky, super thin and he just that.
And generally, he's just a giant douche. Yeah, like Marfan's patients are. I take that back. Marfan's patients are nothing like my brother.
Oh my
because he has
God.
EDS.
Well, and then there's that part. You got to get past like all the hokey diagnoses.
Yeah.
And I do not know if other people share this opinion, but I know you and I both do, where if you've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia,
Oh man.
you need to find a different doctor.
Yeah, that's the dead end diagnosis. It
Yes.
feels like anytime,
It's like,
even when we were hunting, like, oh, so you've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia? I'd be like, no,
No.
it's a connective tissue disorder. Oh, so it's fibromyalgia, and they do the hand wave.
oh yeah,
But
the dismissive. Ugh.
no, I feel so bad for people who have that diagnosis because it's just like,
Well, because you go for answers, right? And then they're like, you have pain. We don't know why you have pain. Ta-da.
yeah,
And that's the end of it. Whereas, like, in EDS, we have nerve pain because our autonomic nervous system doesn't work so good. And
Speak
that
for
affects
yourself.
our nerves. My nervous system is nervous.
yeah,
So things just don't work right. And what is it called? The maline?
yeah.
The sheath? The nerve sheath, essentially. Ours breaks down.
Yeah, that's
And-
where I store my tumors.
No, that's the dura.
No, but on nerve casings, like on my back, I have
Oh, okay.
schwannomas, little ones.
yeah.
Like you can see them. They're like shaped like
Yeah, like the
a football shape because they
Uh-huh.
they go in the nerve and
they're bundled within.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I don't even know, but our nerve fibers break down and they're crummy and they get damaged really easily, and we
Yeah.
wind up with neuropathy. And we wind up with like small fiber neuropathy.
So you find a doctor. Once you have a doctor that's willing to work with you, you're gonna have to start the process
Yes.
of this. You have to do everything in an order. Like certain tests have to be done. You have to go through so many before you
Procedure.
can get to the right one. So like, if you have a good doctor, they'll know that the end goal is to get this test.
Yeah.
And they'll know the path to get to that test.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're gonna get thrown into every test, and hopefully, eventually, you'll hit the right one.
Right.
Like, I don't know what this is.
Well,
So let's
and
go here.
That presents a lot of problems too, because if you wind up with someone who's like, let's just do all the tests,
Yeah.
you get like 3 back that look normal, and then they don't want to run anymore,
Right.
which is not what you want to have happen.
Or you'll get the false positives on like an AA, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's lupus." It's like, it's not lupus. Trust me.
It's never lupus.
I've seen House. I know better. It's never lupus.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I remember that. Actually, my PT asked me if it was lupus.
Oof.
And I was like, no, it's not lupus. No. We
I
don't
know
do
a girl who had it. She worked at a hotel, and she was managing it, and she would have just the worst flare-ups,
that. Oh.
and she would be forced to work those days because Bruce was an asshole. The guy that owned him was horrible.
Yep.
So she'd be sitting there dying at the front desk,
Aw.
trying to hide it because if she like showed any signs of pain, she'd get in trouble. But she was forced to work because she couldn't hire people for her front desk.
Mhm.
That poor girl.
Just awful.
Yeah.
The way we treat people. So finding the right doctor who knows the right path. And here's the thing is that a lot of people get discouraged because they're like, I know nothing's going to show up in the x-ray, and I know nothing's going to show up in the CT, and I know blah, 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 blah. But the part that we often don't consider is that the medical staff have procedure that they have to follow. And so a lot of the time they're not just blowing us off, they're following procedure. And like you said, they know the path to get to the one thing that actually might have answers for
Yeah.
you. Which in our case is often MRI
Right. Well,
with contrast.
like yesterday, I did an X-ray on my hip so that I could get the MRI done.
Mhm.
Everyone knows that nothing's going to show up in the X-ray.
Right.
It's just there so that my insurance will go, okay, now we can do the MRI.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, I didn't know that. So I was always like, why are they looking at my hip with an X-ray? They're not
Yeah.
going to find anything.
Well, and that was the thing. It was so discouraging
Mm-hmm.
to have them because,
You feel like you're getting blown off, too.
yeah, you walk in blind.
Yeah.
And if they're not communicative and if we're not clear about our needs, the communication breaks down and then we're left out in the dark, which is not fun.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of the tests, and EDS is just weird in general. So many tests are going to show exactly nothing.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of specific, like, digging to get to where you need to go.
Yeah.
And you have to see people in an order and different specialists in an order.
Yeah.
So, like, for diagnosis, it was rheumatology was first, right? Or second after primary.
Once we got through the first set of tests, because we had to do the basic gamut.
Yeah.
The, like, let's do your autoimmune, all that. Then we got sent to RA. But from RA, we got blown off. Then we got sent to, oh God, there was someone else after that we saw. Oh no, then I did surgeries. Then we went back to RA because my surgeon was like, dude, there's seriously something wrong with you.
Yeah.
They've got to find it. Then got blown off by the RA again. And then we found out what EDS was.
Yeah.
And then we went in to Emily.
Yep.
Who worked for the same RA, but she was like, that's definitely EDS. Here's a sheet. Let's do the workup. I have everything here.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we got to rheumatology. You went back to your doctor, did genetics.
Yep.
And then I started doing like other test workups.
Mm-hmm.
Not for that, but to make sure we didn't have like the aortic stuff.
Yeah. So we weren't doing, the heart was the big one.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing they looked at when they were like, okay, it's EDS, it's connective tissue disorder. We're looking at your heart.
Yeah.
Whether or not you have heart issues, they're going to look because aortic dissection is a thing that happens sometimes.
A fun time for everybody.
Yay! So fun to bleed to death inside your body.
Well, when you put it like that, it's not.
That's messed up. I'm sorry I put that out in the universe.
Yeah.
I regret everything.
I'm going to have to hear that back, and I'm going to feel it. I'm going to like imagine it and be like, oh, why did she do this to me? Oh.
Yeah.
Especially with the chest pains I've been having. Thanks for
no.
that.
Oh my God. I was on the forums the other day, and this woman has had an aortic dissection for like 3 years. So she had, I think it was like an MRI done.
Yeah.
And they never sent the MRI results to her doctor.
Holy shit.
So they had these results that said, hey, you've got a small dissection.
That could become a big dissection.
Uh-huh. And no one ever told her. And so she was like going through and requesting all of her records, and it popped up there, and she was like, you've had a dissection for like the past 3 years with no preventative care.
More reason to get my records. Like Pedro was saying, I should get a copy.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Well, and I know I'm super fortunate in that area with Kaiser because I have access to everything online.
Yeah.
And it's all in the same portal.
I don't have that luxury.
Done by the same people. So I count it very lucky that it works that way for me. But I know it doesn't for other people.
Yeah, no, for me, I have to go to everybody and get my own copy from them.
Yep. Oh, it's awful. And you're like, it's my stuff. Why does this take so long to get my stuff?
No joke.
It belongs to me. Yeah. So, yeah. So heart was definitely one of the things that they're like gung-ho for. And then beyond that, it was just kind of putting out fires, right?
Yeah. Well, then it was side pain, which turned into the same procedure. It was do this to get to this to get to this. So we went from doing a gastric workup, which they found other stuff, which was great. Like I have an ileus, and they found a bunch of GERD damage from stomach acid, and we got that addressed.
Yeah.
Wasn't the problem. Then we did nephrology, which is just a fun word, nephrology. It's just your kidney specialist.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Then that was when I was getting that biopsy, and I was giggling when they were pulling it out. They're like, what? And I was like, it just really hurts. Don't worry about it.
I laugh in the face.
And when I said that, the nurse that was in front of me, who was in charge of pain management, we're going to need more fentanyl.
Oh.
So she did like a big flush, and I was like, no. Oh,
poor
okay.
thing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the worst. I always feel super bad when they're like, oh, it's not working. Oh, no.
Yeah.
How can we make this more comfortable for you? And you're like, it's really fine.
Yeah.
It's really okay. I promise. Thank you for caring, but
What
it's
was
okay.
after nephrology? Oh, then we did an MRI of the area, and that's when they found the tumor.
Yep.
And then we went on. But like instead of starting with MRI,
Right.
I had to go through all these other steps to get to the MRI.
Yeah.
It's the game.
It is. And it's that like they don't want to give you the pricey one first.
Yeah.
And it's
they're trying to be considerate.
Yeah, in a way.
Right.
But at the same time, you're like, it winds up costing more when you have to do
everything plus the expensive
everything
one.
else. Yeah. So it can be really frustrating to have to play the game, but for everything we've had to do it. Like PT.
Mm-hmm.
PT is a big one.
I've done so many bouts of PT to fix the same problem.
My God. Well, and they wrecked your shoulders.
Yeah, they did.
They were like, do PT. And the PT's like, you just need to do more exercise.
Yeah, it's atrophy. There's
Unchecked.
nothing else. Had they worked with my shoulders at all, like if he had done any of the measurements to check or even noticed that I can't raise my arm above my shoulder height, he probably would have noticed. But they didn't. They were just like, exercise more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which damaged him and ripped some tendons. And
yeah, you had like bone spurs and all kinds of...
Yeah. I had sandpaper on the inside of the joint, and then I was told to just keep working it. And I had like full-on tears in the tendons, and
yeah,
all the cartilage was chewed up, and
bursitis and tendonitis and everything.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was awful.
That took 8 years. So that was 8 years of the game to get to that point.
Right. Well, and you said in the last episode, how long did it take to get the first like real scan?
That was okay. So I saw the first doctor when I was 20. I went in and I was like, this is a problem. And then when I was 27 was when 27 or 28, we got the first image done.
Oh my God.
And I'd seen 8 different doctors in that time frame for the same problem.
That's insane. Well, and I know like
I was too young to have problems is what I was told.
I hate hearing that. That needs to go on our bingo card.
Yeah.
You're too young.
Or you're so young. When they're surprised, wow, you're so young. You have this problem? Like, I got that the other day. I was seeing, oh God, I can't remember who it was. And I was like, I have this, this, and this, and this. It was a different X-ray tech. It was a couple months ago. And I was like, they're like, oh, we're doing imaging. And I was like, yeah, well, I've had work done on this and this and this and this. And then they're like, wow, you're so young. Like, yep, but I still have problems.
Yeah, that does not exclude me from having issues.
Yeah.
I hate that line of thinking. And I get like some people are like, oh, you're so young, and that like, I'm so sad for you.
Yeah.
Vein. And then you have like, you're too young to have any of those issues. You're like, but I do. Hooray.
Good for me.
Am special. God damn it.
So spatial.
Spatial, yes.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of all that is to first knowing that it's part of the process is huge.
Yes.
Because I used to get so discouraged.
Yeah.
It's like you said, like once you get sent somewhere and you feel like you're not being heard.
Right.
Even though they are, because they won't communicate to you.
Right.
They'll be like, well, let's start here because they know, but they're also forgetting that you don't know.
Yeah.
So you interpret it as, oh, well,
I'm
they don't
being
give
blown
a shit.
off.
Yeah.
They're not going to find anything, and they're going to think I'm crazy,
Right.
and no one's going to treat me.
Well, and I was at that point, I was less likely to actually follow through. Like, if like, go get an MRI, I'd be like,
what's the point?
right, you're not hearing me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and that kind of goes back to that like explicit communication. Right across my forehead. Sorry.
Explicit
I'm not sorry,
communication.
Though. I'm going to stick with it. That's the hill I'm dying on. Explicit communication.
It's such a weird battle to pick, but sure. No one's really arguing with you. No one's like, stop it with the explicit communication. You need to stop. Stop telling us what's wrong with you. We're sick of your shit. We're doctors, not here to care about you.
I'm a doctor, Jim, not a...
Like, geez, yeah, well, I don't know what she's doing. She's dying on that hill now. She keeps telling everyone to talk.
I'm like, this is my hill. Everybody fuck off.
I picked this one. I was going to pick like a big problem, but sure. People aren't explicit enough.
I'm dying on this hill that I've created for myself. I made this hill. It's mine.
I made it. I'm going to die on it.
I'm going to die on it.
Such a weird hill.
You're such a weird hill.
Fact.
There you go. But yeah, it's hard because if they don't communicate with you and you don't know what to ask, you don't know how to reassure yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't even. I want to go back in time and see what it was like in the beginning, like, because the first few tests I was like, yay, we're getting stuff done, and then it got discouraging. Yay, nothing's showing up. Yay, no one knows what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it starts to become from no one knows what's wrong with me to maybe there's not anything wrong with me to begin
maybe
with.
it's all in my head.
Right. And so that gets really, it gets in your head. And then you wind up with imposter syndrome.
We have a hidden person.
Hello. Hey.
It's Vizzy, everybody.
It's Vizzy.
What an entrance.
She's like, I brought you a friend.
Okay. That's fine.
Kidnapping in progress.
Yeah. I got permission to get stolen a different day. So. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Sounds good to me. Go
How
have
I
fun.
feel. Bye, guys.
I
Enjoy
like your
food.
shoes. Oh my God. Those are awesome.
They're like
Yeah. You're intimidating.
intimidating.
Like, oh God.
It's the ass kicking boots.
They are.
Yeah. Where were we?
I don't know.
Oh, we were at the like. It goes from no one knows what's wrong with me to nothing's actually wrong with
Right.
me and I'm crazy. Well, and I remember like it was hard, and Medicaid is the hardest route to go.
Yes.
And I'm gonna.
There are so many procedures and everything that has to be done in a specific order, and it gets approved slowly and
Or not at all.
Right,
Or
and
they're
then
like,
finding the
why
right
do you
doctor.
need this?
right. So you get approved for it. Then you have to find someone who takes that insurance. And
Mhm. Or actually cares about that insurance. Because
Exactly.
the other problem is you get someone and they're like, ugh, it's Medicaid.
yeah.
We're going to do the bare minimum
Well,
and then let you go.
the only reason I had any of my shoulder and hip work done is because I went into the ER and they tried to I had shoulder issues, right?
Yeah.
And they tried doing a shoulder tap.
Mhm.
They were looking for infection, which is a very painful procedure.
Ow.
They scraped the bones and stuff looking for fluid, and it was not fun. So we did that, and the on-call whatever he is considered.
Resident or whoever.
Well, no, he has his own practice. It's Dr. Worrell.
Oh, okay.
He was like on call for the emergency room for joint issues in general.
Okay.
But he looked at my results and was like, "You should come to my practice. We don't normally take your insurance, but I'll make an exception."
Wow.
And they've worked with me on every joint so far.
That's
It's been that
amazing.
place, and they don't take my insurance typically. So
That's crazy.
yeah, I got lucky.
It's always weird when they're like, you're super interesting. I want to follow your case. And you're like, okay. Okay.
Can I have a copy of my
sure.
records when you're done with it?
Right? Please? Well, and that kind of goes into like the ER process.
Yeah.
Because the ER process is a little bit brutal, where they're like, what's the most painful thing we can do to you?
Let's prove
to
that you're
prove
not here.
that you're
Yeah.
in actual pain.
God. That's always fun.
Because they didn't need to do that. There was no need for like, we're going to stab into your shoulder. That was, how much pain are you actually in?
Oh, you blacked out? It's probably meningitis. Let's do a spinal tap.
Right.
That was a fun one.
Oh my God.
I've had a lot of spinal taps.
They just decide that that's like the qualifier.
The problem
If
is
you withstand this torture, then you're worthy of care.
early on in my relationship with Jen, we were watching House, and I was watching them do a tap, and I was like, thank God I'll never have to do that. Words to live by. And now it's not even a big deal. Like, if they're like, let's do it, I'm like, go for it. Knock yourself out.
Right.
Like the 30 minutes it took them to try and get the stupid spinal in last
Oh,
time,
God.
where they were just stabbing it over and over.
Yep.
Fun times.
Your back remembers. You're like
Yes.
squirming.
Yeah.
God. And it's just convoluted.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so convoluted. So I'm trying to remember how everything went. And it also depends on like which fire you're trying to put out first.
Right, because you
I
got to
think.
focus on whatever
Yeah.
is most problematic.
So at the time it was my stomach. And so I went in and they were like, chronic gastritis, take these meds, you'll be fine. And then we went in for like the thyroid stuff.
Mhm.
And the first time they were like, it's barely functional. Here's these meds.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went back and they did another blood draw and then called me the next day and they were like,
Stop.
stop taking those meds because just don't.
Yeah.
It's way high, whatever. But no one ever did anything about it. So it was this like, we know it's not normal, but we don't really care.
It's the, like, was it Neuro who was asking why?
Yeah.
Oh, it's sad that he's gone.
I know.
Because they don't normally ask why. They'll just get the
Right.
results and they'll be like, oh, okay. No,
Right.
but why? Why is it like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is always so interesting because there are some really good specialists who like shock you by going, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Or that's not normal. Like my cardio, that was funny because the first time we had that looked at, he was like, you are super weird, but it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I guess.
Thanks for that.
Thank you. He was like, you're really interesting. I'm super curious about how this is going to turn out. Email me if you have any questions. I'm going to follow your case. But nobody helped me. And then it evolved over time. So they're like, well, because what was happening was my heart rate would spike.
Yeah.
And then it would like within a beat drop down to normal.
Yeah.
And so my heart rate was just doing this like way up high and then plummet. And he was like, I don't know why that's happening, but I don't think it's going to hurt you. Good luck. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we see if anyone wants to talk?
Sure. We can invite to speak. See.
Invite everyone to speak.
Invite everyone to speak.
Kaylee's not even awake anymore. But if
That's
you want
okay.
to join us, Morgan, you can. If not, it's cool. We just have a system now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. And even now the process is irritating.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alive.
We're here.
Good.
Well, I had a question for you, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the process in general. Like, do you have to do that with mental health stuff in general? Like, have you had to like jump hurdles in certain
Yeah.
orders?
Kinda. I'm actually going through that now, like with it getting diagnosed for ADHD, hopefully.
Mhm.
Like last August or something, I had a friend say something to me like, "Oh, hello, Ed." He said something like, I was talking about something I was going through, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's really common with ADHD." And it was like, A, what? B, what?
It's just like diagnosed.
And it's like,
you
"Oh, I
with
thought you had ADHD because like everything that I have, I see in you too." So
Yeah.
like I brought it up to my therapist, and like we spent like a whole session talking about like we kind of did like a little evaluation, but it like wasn't, it didn't really come to anything. She was like, well, see, all of the symptoms that we just talked about could also be just like stress related, and you're going through a lot of stress right now, or it could be anxiety related or depression related,
God.
of which you have both. So I can't really tell if this is ADHD or just that other stuff.
That's
So like,
yeah, that's the other hard part is like trying to tease things apart when you've got so
Yeah.
many like interconnecting pieces.
yep. So we've been like talking about that for like a while, and then like 3 months ago she was finally like, I think it might actually be ADHD, but
God.
I want you to get an evaluation.
Yep.
So I started looking for a place to do an evaluation, and they're all like, oh well, we have appointments booked out till November.
Holy
oh my
crap.
God.
And it's like, well, I'll take anything, like, okay, let's do it. So I filled out the intake paperwork, and they ghosted me.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
Never been ghosted by a doctor before, so that was fun.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
But I finally got an appointment on the books for like September.
Hey.
Oh, good.
something.
Yeah, and then like a couple days ago they called me and they're like, so Dr. Luna's gonna be going on parental leave in September, and my heart sank.
Oh God, dude.
Oh no.
But fortunately, it was immediately followed by, so he's opening up earlier appointments and we can get you in sooner. So I actually have like my intake appointment next week,
Oh,
and
good.
then my evaluation is going to be in mid-August.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
That'll
joke.
be
So-
good.
Yeah. So getting care is definitely a process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Well, and it is. And you got to like jump through hoops. constantly.
Mm-hmm.
There was... Oh, weird. Sorry. I was looking at the Discord, and it's telling me... There we go. Yes. Wonder why it didn't... There we go. Okay.
Did it go through?
There we go. I think you're on, Morgan.
It's connecting.
Hi.
Hi, Morgan.
How are you?
Doing good.
Who had gotten diagnosed as an adult. And I was like, haha, same. Same?
It's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
It's too real.
Yep. And then my PCP has historically been a pretty... yeah, she doesn't keep up to date on things. So, I asked her if she could write me a recommendation to get an evaluation. And she was like, I don't know who diagnoses that.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah. So I had to, look through stuff on my own, find a clinic. It was complicated, but it was really worth it. So I really hope you get a diagnosis as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Especially when you have like all those hand-in-hand pieces with mental health. Because I know I'm struggling with it, and I'm just not in a place where I'm willing to give up my CBD and THC to get back on ADHD meds, which I really just need to do. I need to do it, but
it changed my life.
The pain management side of it makes it hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to rely solely on the rescue meds. I like having that buffer. So it's really hard, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm trying to tease out, is my depression on the rise, or is my executive dysfunction causing these symptoms, or is it this, or this? So it's hard to like tease it all apart.
Oh man,
that was something else that I was talking to my therapist about. Was like, I'm worried that I'm going to go in and they're going to be like, yeah, you don't have ADHD, your brain is just rotten and there's nothing we can do for you, sorry, bye. And she's like, well, we already know what symptoms you have, so regardless of where they're coming from, we can keep working on the symptoms in therapy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't necessarily have to be medicated for it. You can just focus on the symptoms and like coping mechanisms and stuff too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Though I have to say, medication has really been helpful for me. I know that, it's really not for everyone, but weirdly enough, it actually helped me manage my pain better.
Yeah.
That's
because
the same.
It reduces the overwhelm I get from pain so much. Yeah. So it just becomes better to like, it becomes easier to manage just like the sensory input.
Yes, absolutely. And I know like you keep saying neuro adjacent, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
You've had a very similar experience.
Oh yeah. No, since starting the Concerta, I've been active every day, which is, I went from like 3 years of being bedbound to actually being up and moving.
Yeah.
I've had energy, and the pain management's been so much better. It's insane, the difference. And it just was one medication.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I would have tried harder earlier.
I know. It makes me nervous because when I was on the Ritalin, that was when like the spasms started like really building.
Oh yeah.
And that was when they thought it was like seizures, and they were like, don't take Ritalin, it's making it all worse. And I've done, like, I have my like leftover ones, and I still have that really bad like 2 p.m. crash. So I'm like, how do I get on this without that crash?
Well, does it have to be Ritalin? Have you tried the other ones?
I did Adderall. Adderall was worse. Like the crash was worse because my body's like, we're going to process it, and then just you'd fall off a cliff at the end.
Yeah.
But I wasn't making it like through the day, and I was getting super sick. So I want to see if they'll let me try Concerta, because maybe that is the way to go. We'll have to see. I don't know.
Do you get the crash, Morgan, on your meds? Because I do. We'll wait for it to come back.
Yep.
What about you, Kaylee?
I'm not on any meds.
No, but like you were on what was it, forever ago, and then you had to stop taking it.
Prozac or fluoxetine. that like stays in your system for a while.
So you don't have the crash with it.
Yeah, and like you could like miss a day and it wouldn't like have a significant impact because it's just like long lasting.
That's good.
But then like you have to go through a whole process with going on the medication where your body adjusts to it.
Yeah.
Which is a nightmare.
Oh, is
like
that
I was sick every day.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, if there was a crash with it, but if it stays in the system.
Yeah, that might be better. But my other concern is like, because I can't ever trust my body to process things in a timely fashion. And then I wind up awake all night because my Ritalin's like, hey, it's 6 p.m. We just found this.
Yeah.
Here you go. You're wide awake now forever.
It's like I took that pain med the other day at night.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
problematic.
Yeah. And it didn't kick in until 3 a.m.
Yeah. I told you about the one that I took at like, it was early evening. It was probably like 5, 6 o'clock. And then it didn't show up until after midnight.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Why? Where does it go when you put it in your stomach?
Will you reinvite Morgan?
Yes. Oops. Here we go.
You're getting good with the phone.
Yeah.
Invited yourself back.
I did not mean to do that. There we go.
Yeah, I don't get the crash, but I'm on Vyvanse, and I've heard that it's better for that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that'd be something to look into too.
Yeah, because I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah.
Because they make
Yeah,
your
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure if it's as available in the U.S.
Oh.
It's a good question. So I am not in the U.S.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because they make it sound like our options are pretty limited.
Yeah.
And because I'm with Kaiser, it could be more limited. Because I know like Lyrica doesn't exist for us.
That's weird because I got put on Lyrica real quick.
Yeah, but they're like, no, gabapentin. That's it.
Well, I mean,
So they don't-
gabapentin's better anyways.
Yes. Well, I prefer it for sure. I know there are people out there who like
Can't do
swear that they're like, it kills my nerves. I'm like, that's fine with me.
I don't want to feel.
I don't want to feel my nerves. Thank you. They only hurt me. What are you looking for?
Looking for my phone, which is recording right now.
Oh,
Like-
take your fidgets. Or here, you can have my phone. So that way you can do things
Yay.
and whatever.
I forgot what I was going to do.
I think you just needed it for security.
Like, where's
You're
my
like,
phone,
where's my
guys?
phone? Help.
I am lost without it.
Oh, so you know this, right? Where I don't know if anybody else has this experience. So instead of like flat out dysphagia, my swallow has worked backwards for a while, and I don't know why in God's name this is happening. I'm so over it, but I'm like literally swallowing anything and everything into my sinuses.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when I go to swallow,
No.
it pushes it up,
Ugh.
and it's horrible.
No, thank you.
Why is that happening?
Don't look at me like I have answers.
But you're the one with the dysphagia problems. It must be your fault.
My problem is that I just don't swallow, or
Oh,
that
that's
it sits right at the esophagus.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll swallow something, it'll get past the esophagus, like the flap, and then it just sits there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like hanging out in the valve.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like, we live here now.
Great. This is far enough.
Yeah.
So
you can
productive.
digest from here. It's fine.
That's why we have GERD. It's 'cause the acid's like jumping up to reach whatever
It
that is.
I mean,
But yeah,
that's
no, I'm
exactly it.
swallowing everything into my nose.
nice.
It's terrible. I keep getting like meds stuck in there, or food, or liquid. I had what it was
I mean, that
drinking
did
the other
happen
day.
to me the other day because I got that whipped cream in my nose. like I don't.
Oh boy.
I don't hate this. It doesn't feel horrible. It's soft and fluffy, but it kind of
As
stings.
far as things to get
horrible.
stuck in your nose, it's not the worst.
I was so conflicted. I was like, do I like this?
I had a med get stuck in my nose.
Yeah.
And that hurt.
Oh no.
Ugh.
It just kept dissolving and burning and
No.
dissolving and burning.
Could
There
you
was
not?
nothing to do.
Just, I don't want to hear about these stories anymore. You're done.
I'm in a timeout.
Time out.
Mm.
I have a question for Morgan
Mhm.
because I was reading the introduction section. What is it like to get diagnosed across the oceans? Like, what's your process?
I'm not across any ocean. I am
Yeah.
north of you.
Canada.
Oh, Canada. I've been
Yes.
there.
Canada.
Duh.
Oh boy.
I've been to the lands of the north.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm in the Franco part of Canada,
Oh,
so
okay.
that is why the accent may be weird at times.
Ah. So what was it like getting diagnosed out there?
Probably better, hopefully.
For ADHD?
ADHD or other invisible illnesses?
HEDS.
Yeah.
What's it
Yeah,
that like?
for ADHD, I mean, I think it's mostly the same from what I've understood. Though, of course, public healthcare system. Thing is, public healthcare system, it's good, it's free, it's public. I'm happy about that. It's also very slow and clunky.
Yeah.
So I could not actually go in the public system without it taking a few years
Yeah.
of wait times. Because when you're an adult, it takes a really, really long time. When you're a kid, it's good, but things happen that I didn't really discover it until I was like 22.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, yeah. So, but other than that, it was mostly the same, I think. HEDS, it is actually considerably harder if you want to go in the public system here, because there really aren't a lot of resources, and though it's really, really good for, acute problems, if you get injured or you have something life-threatening, then you're gonna get, you're gonna get taken care of. They're gonna take you in charge. But if it's anything that's not life-threatening, that's chronic, you kind of end up stuck. So I had to, I realized that I had flat feet when I was like 20, and my podiatrist put me on the I don't know, the trail. She was like, you're very hypermobile everywhere. That could explain things. And then from there on, I tried to talk to my PCP, and she really knew nothing. So I had to hunt down like the specialized physio that sees a lot of HEDS cases in my city, see her, try to get a little bit of an evaluation from her. Give that to my PCP, and now I'm just in a 1 to 2 to 3 year waiting list for a rheumatologist or for genetics. So
same.
Yeah.
I did the 2-year wait for a geneticist, and then I saw the geneticist
who
and
didn't believe in EDS.
he doesn't believe in it. Yeah. So
yeah, I heard that and I was like, oh no, now I am scared.
oh, don't be. It's definitely a him problem. There are a lot of reviews about this specific guy. So
oh god, he was terrible.
hopefully it's not the same anywhere else.
Well, and he was the same dum-dum who clinically diagnosed our little brother with Marfan's, which is not a clinical diagnosis for starters. So he just
Nope.
is an idiot.
Yeah, but the wait is brutal. I have a lot of waits with Medicaid.
Yep. Well, and we have this problem with Kaiser where if you want to see the good doctors, they're always the ones who are booked out.
Right.
And so we wind up with the waits. But we have more resources kind of in the interim, I guess. So can't complain too much there.
So you haven't seen a rheumatologist yet, Morgan?
Nope.
Oh.
It's going to take about a year.
Oh.
Because for the longest time, I did not actually want to try to go through my PCP because, again, she does not keep up to date. She actually, when I sent her the, everything from my physio, she was like, I've heard the name in med school, but, it's been a long time, and I don't have that in my clientele. Which is funny because she's in the public system. We're not clients. And that was about it. I really tried to see if she would maybe, work with me until I could see people. But no, I don't think she even wants to do like a 5-minute Google search. She's
God.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've met people like that.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, EDS. I remember reading a blurb on that 17 years ago.
You have that stretchy skin, right?
Right? My favorite is when people have you ever had that where you're seeing somebody for something completely unrelated and they're like, so you're hypermobile, and then they put you through the hoops to show how hypermobile you are, even though it doesn't actually matter for whatever they're doing. But they want to know.
They want to see it.
They want to see.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, I was talking to somebody the other day who was like, their primary care was like, they hand out this diagnosis like candy, and so they make the patients prove it, and it's just icky.
Yeah.
And it's not handed out like candy. It's horribly, horribly underdiagnosed. So if you've got a diagnosis.
Well, in Colorado, for some reason, has a lot.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, we've got, there is a specialist PT in Colorado, isn't there?
Yeah, up north in Longmont.
Yeah.
I was going to see her for something, but it was like a join the wait list type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed PT done post-surgery for something, so.
Yeah. Well, that's always the funniest part for me, is doing PT after surgery. So the first time I was with someone who actually like really knew what she was doing. And she was like, you are doing great. You don't need to do anything else. Finished PT at 10 weeks. And they were like, on your way, be gone. And then this time around, I saw people who were like, oh, you're not dislocating your SIs. And I was like, yes, the fuck I am, actually. Thank you very much. And yes, that toe keeps dislocating because I'm not using the other foot. And I'm on crutches with a dislocated toe all the time. It's not good.
Yeah.
So PT and I have like a very, it's a balance, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of weird for me because actually my PT right now is the only resource I have.
Wow.
And I've heard that from other people.
She's pretty great, honestly. She's at this point she's just the person that validates me.
Yeah.
And also like hypes me up and puts my joints back in place.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you need.
Exactly. Well, that's great. I'm glad you have that, because I know it's not easy.
Yeah, I don't have anyone who believes me yet.
I think Vanessa believes you.
Yeah, my pain management probably does at this point, because she's been with me through 3 surgeries.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it's funny, like watching how people respond to you after surgery when you come back and you're like, I feel great. And this is super easy. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
She hasn't seen me since my hip surgery. So I came in without a cane. And she was like, where's the cane? It's like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I had surgery.
They're like, oh, you're not limping at all. And you're like, we figured it out. We figured it out pretty quick because everything hurts all the time. So this is not new or debilitating.
Well, yeah. You don't stiffen up post-surgery. Like, I don't have that problem.
No, not
at all.
Where they're like... They actually, for my hip surgeries, I wound up in a brace for both because my surgeon was like, you hypermobile people are gonna ruin stuff. And so they braced me to high hell.
I still can't get over the time you broke your
I broke
brace.
my brace. It was so
She's just sitting on this couch and she leans forward and snap. And then she leans forward more. And then I'm still finding parts of her
I know.
brace in my office.
The little gear. That's how you know you're done with the brace, I guess.
It's like
when
a Forrest
you
Gump
break
moment.
it.
When you break free, you're good to go.
It's Forrest Gump, yes. Perfect. Yeah. But yeah, no, PT is usually like their go-to for like, we're going to work on getting you what you need, but first do PT. Check PT off the list.
Yeah, that is step 1 in all process.
Yeah.
Even for surgery, that's what they do first, is for me especially. Like, go do PT, and then I go to PT. And
PT goes, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
And then they go, okay, time for surgery.
I haven't found one that really knows about EDS, though.
Nor have
I
I.
haven't been that lucky.
My personal trainer seems to be like my PT in all senses. So, and it's frustrating because we're back doing the process. it just popped into my head. So when I was talking to my primary about the abdominal adhesions, and he was like, surgery is not recommended. Let me get a hold of your pain team and see what they have to say. And I had to fight back that moment of like being discouraged because their first thing was like, oh, increase days at the gym and keep with PT. And I'm like, I'm not going to keep with PT because that's $30 a session that I don't need to pay. Like, I don't need it. And every time I go, they go, why are you here? So working with my personal trainer works much, much better Is it break time, brother mine?
It's. Oh no, Desu.
Uh-oh. What did you do?
It's not what I did. It's what my phone did.
Oh. What happened?
This might just literally be a podcast.
Oh, no recording.
I have some of it. I'll just put some other stuff in. At the
Okay.
end.
No worries. It's all good.
We should end it though. We should call it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we have to end the call because we can still talk to people.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Morgan
Truth.
and Kaylee, if Kaylee will have me.
Sure.
Oh, Kaylee. We need to get you back on here too.
Yeah. If you're down.
I'd love to.
Sweet.
More torture. Mwahahaha.
Yeah.
On that note, then, I think we'll go ahead and call it for today, huh?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, hopefully next time we'll get a little more in depth with the stomach stuff.
Yeah. Eventually.
I know.
We'll get there.
We got very sidetracked, but I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us so much. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.